Hello gamers, welcome to Elametal vs Hardcore Minecraft. After several attempts, and I do mean several, I finally had a hardcore world make it past 100 days. So that means it's time to share the journey with you guys. I've been playing Minecraft ever since its release in 2011. And for a long time, I have been way too afraid to start a hardcore series. This is because I typically die a lot in Minecraft, and I wasn't ready to take on that challenge. I knew the second I lost one of those worlds, I was going to crash out, and nobody wants to see that. But this year, I wanted to change this. So without further ado, I ask you to please enjoy the first episode of my hardcore series. My previous failed hardcore worlds were all named Hardcore Perchance, and at the advice of a friend, I decided to name this one Hardcore for certain, because I was not messing around this time. And just like that, we begin my new adventure. Now, at the time of filming this, I had already lost several hardcore worlds and many hours of work, so I wasn't all that optimistic about this attempt. Ah yes, the iconic punching of a tree that we all know marks the beginning of a new world. Man, this is taking forever! Now that that's out of the way, we can craft some essentials. Now to slowly break more trees. Tree montage! Now I desperately need some food and some cobblestone. Killing spree montage! I also managed to get a bed, so we have officially finished our first day in the hardcore world, and it's time to sleep. Okay, my next order of business is to find the nearest village. And it looks like I found one, but it's in an acacia biome. It's fine, beggars can't be choosers. I'm gonna make this place my new home. Time to steal! Okay, I did nothing but steal today, but still, we made it through day 2. This guy's giving me an idea. I think there's an iron farm in my future. Well, now it's time to set up camp, and I also wanted to get rid of this orange bed because don't ask me why, I don't like the color orange. There's a lot going on here, I can't. It was also time to craft some storage. There we go. And for my next trick, I'm going to break an absurd amount of trees, like a disgusting number of trees. I'm going to cut them down. There were a couple of the houses in the village that I didn't like, so I just started destroying the homes to get that wood back. And before you ask, yes, I'm going to rehome the villagers. They will live in a very nice, large cage. Also for funsies, I decided to do some light terraforming for my big cage project. After going through like a million stone shovels, I realized it was time to go hunting for some iron. I was told to avoid caves in my hardcore world at all costs, especially in the beginning. But this iron was just tempting me. Package secured. After a bit more mining, I was actually able to find diamonds, and I was so stoked. Now, I had no intention on using these diamonds right away. I had 8 diamonds, and I was planning on saving them until I was able to set up my villager trading hall. I knew that getting some strong armor and good tools was going to be crucial for my survival. After that, I decided to go hunting for some more diamonds, but I was unfortunately very unsuccessful. Every once in a while, I would stumble across a cave, but no cave was worth losing the progress I had made. After about an hour or so of mining, I decided it was time to hang my pickaxe up for the day. Ah yes, my favorite part of the game, organizing my inventory. My next plan of action was to make a bunch of villagers. Yes, this acacia monstrosity that I'm building was going to be home to many villagers. My original plan was to just make a bunch of farmers, trade with them, breed them, and then take some of them to be in my villager trading hall. Now, even though I've been playing the game for a very long time, I'm still fairly new to using villagers to my advantage. I don't know, call me crazy, I just never thought about trapping and torturing them. Another thing I wanted to get going was a decent farm and a pen full of sheep because I needed to make a lot of beds. My ultimate villager home was coming along great. I was filling it with beds, torches, everything they'd need to be happy forever. Next, it was time to build the enclosure for the sheep. Once I finished that, I noticed that the villagers were already making themselves at home, which made me so very happy. My next course of action was to get my farm all set up. After some light farming, I was finally able to make a few loaves of bread. And you know what comes next. Come on in, guys. I promise I'm not gonna close the gate behind you. I would never do such a thing. I also made the executive decision to dye my sheep red because I like the color red, and who's gonna stop me? After all that work, I decided it was time to survey my surroundings and see what was out there. Yo, there's a ruined portal over here. Dude, this is awesome. I can loot this chest. I can mine this obsidian eventually. It's getting dark out. I should probably go to sleep real quick. Let me just place down my bed. I'm literally never ever coming back here ever again. Mark my words. Okay, I think that's gonna do it for my first IRL day of playing. I logged in the next day with one mission on the top of my mind. In order to accomplish this mission, I was going to have to gather some resources. I grabbed some beds and some cobblestone, and I set out to build my first iron farm. I also needed to do some terraforming. Yet again, a lame towel terraforming. Who's shocked? Cue the terraforming and resource gathering montage. Now it was time to begin building this structure. Now, friendly reminder to everyone out there, this is my first Java iron farm, and I decided not to follow a tutorial. An important part about this world was challenging myself, and in order to properly challenge myself, I needed to design this farm myself. So I proceeded with nothing except for basic iron farm knowledge. This is probably why it ended up looking absolutely atrocious, but hey, I'm proud of it. I usually play Bedrock, and Bedrock iron farms require a lot more villagers, but they don't require zombies. I'm not even going to lie to you guys, I was dreading having to catch a zombie for this thing. The next thing I needed to do was to spawn-proof the surrounding area and also make sure that there were no caves around where the golems could spawn. I want to make sure that they're all spawning in my death trap, okay? Using my very limited iron, I had to make shears so that I could continue spawn-proofing the farm with leaves. I then realized that having some leads would be helpful. Luckily, I know just the guy to get them from. And don't you worry, these guys were coming home with me. Now it was time to add some water to this bad boy. I'll just use this water to guide the golems towards a bright future. As you can tell by this recording, there were a ton of villagers in this village, so it was time to kidnap a few of them casually. Let me just give them a nice housewarming present, and hopefully they warm up to each other for no reason. Now the build was almost complete. I just needed to add some lava, but I was not prepared to go back to that ruined portal to go get some. I also still needed to catch some zombies, so I placed a boat underneath the farm to try and catch some at night. You know, without actually confronting them because I'm terrified. Dude, I'm watching this footage back and I can't believe how nonchalant I was being about this cave. Like, I just walked in there with a helmet and boots on. After a little bit of mining, I did finally manage to find some lava and I swiftly filled my bucket full. And with that, the most important aspect of our iron farm was finally complete. Yeah, we're just not going to talk about that because I fixed it. It's fine. Everything's going according to plan. I planned that. On top of that, I had also managed to catch a baby zombie in the boat. But the baby zombie's life would be short-lived because somehow a golem spawned outside of the box that I spawn-proofed, and also a villager ended up in the boat. But then I decided I'll use the villager as bait and catch a zombie that way. Ah, yes, my favorite show is on. During that night, this villager decided to sabotage me, open and shut the door, and let a zombie in, get zombified, and then attack me. Don't worry though, I lived to tell the tale, but I don't think I've been that scared ever in my entire life. If my hardcore run had ended because of villagers, they would have never known peace ever again, and that's all I'm gonna say. Luckily, all our hard work had paid off because 2 zombies ended up in the boat last night. I just had to make sure that the zombies were seen by the villagers in order for more golems to spawn. I'm realizing this now as I'm recording this that I did not record the part of me putting the zombies actually inside of the farm, but I basically built a giant platform over a big staircase and I dragged them up in there myself. If you're wondering how the zombies are doing, they're doing great. You know, they're looking at the villagers are looking at them, they can see each other, and golems are spawning. Well, they were spawning, and then they stopped spawning, and I was trying to figure out why, and then I found this guy in here. I'm still really confused as to how this guy got there because I put slabs on the roof, so I truly don't know what happened here. But after that, we had no more issues with the iron farm. I could officially say that this was working. And that's gonna do it for episode 1 of my hardcore series. I can't wait to show you guys more of this world. I really am so incredibly proud of it, and thank you so much for tuning in to my first official YouTube video. Bye everybody!